the Newcastle Fieldhouse and the Boys City Securities Hall of Fame Classic. Game 1 today, Vincennes versus Newcastle. Hi everybody, Howard Kelman along with Dave Nicholson. You talk about two schools and teams with great traditions.
Tremendous tradition. Both have state championship banners hanging in their home arenas, so that tells you a lot. Vincennes and Newcastle, probably as steep in tradition as any two teams in the state.
Okay, and we'll have more pregame info. This is the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week on TV 40. The Alfeld Sports Medicine pregame show. Welcome back to the Newcastle Fieldhouse. Let's start with the key players. Dave Nicholson from Vincennes.
Okay, Howard, one of the outstanding scorers in this tournament, number 40 at forward, Craig Hines. He's a 6'3" senior. He averages 22 points a ball game. And in the middle for the Vincennes Alices, number 45, Morgan Jones. He's a 6'6" senior. Morgan averages 10 points a game. Let's look at the keys to the game for Vincennes in this game. They must defend the three-point line. The perimeter defense is going to be important. And they must defend the drive. Let's look at the key players for Newcastle. At guard, number 2, Zach Hahn. He's a 6'1" senior, averaging 17 points a game. The other big scorer for Newcastle, number 33, Chase Segal. He's a 6'4" junior, averaging 15 points a game. And the keys to the game for the Newcastle Trojans. Hit the boards. They've got to rebound. Vincennes is not a very big team, but Newcastle is even smaller. They must force some turnovers. Newcastle likes to get some easy baskets and get going. And the big key, I think, is home sweet home. What I mean by that, Newcastle always shoots great in this arena. Now let's look at the starters for Vincennes. At guard, number 3, Garrett Oxman. He's a 6' senior. At another guard, number 10, Colton Oxman, his twin brother, also a 6' senior. In the middle, number 45, Morgan Jones, a 6'6" senior. At one forward, number 22, Jeremy Cunningham. At the other forward, number 40, Craig Hines. Starters for Newcastle. At guard, number 2, Zach Hahn. 22, Luke Burnett. Number 33, Chase Segal. In the middle, Bobby Carroll, number 52. And at forward, Brian Hazelman, number 30.
Okay, Dave, Craig Hines at 6'3". Bobby Carroll at 6'7". will jump it up. And the tip is controlled by Vincennes. 3 is Garrett Oxman. Number 10 is his twin, Colton Oxman.
Newcastle comes out in the typical defense they play, a tough man-to-man.
Garrett Oxman missing a 3. Colton Oxman with the offensive board. This is Colton. Pick and roll, deflected. Garrett Oxman, a 6' senior. Colton, a 6' senior. They're twins. 45 is Morgan Jones. That didn't go by Jeremy Cunningham, however. Colton Oxman follows and scores. And it's 2-0 in favor of Vincennes.
I'll tell you what, Steve Bennett didn't like that possession because they gave up 2 offensive rebounds. The end result is Vincennes got an easy basket underneath. You've got to check out, you got to rebound.
Hazelman hands it to Zach Hahn. And these are the Newcastle Trojans. Our officials today are Casey Gaynor, Todd Moisner, and John Regatius. And our first foul of the game son, Jeremy Cunningham. And that is the first foul of the game, as we mentioned. 22 is Luke Bennett. Newcastle defending 3A champs. Both these teams are 3A schools. Newcastle 21-6 a year ago, and 5 of those 6 losses to 4A teams when they won it all. They're 8-0 this season. There's Zach Hahn, and he draws a foul. So Zach will go to the line and shoot 2.
Zach Hahn's got a variety of offensive weapons. He can shoot the outside shot. He can also, he's 36.7 behind the 3 line. He can also put it on the floor as he did and finish it at the ring.
And Zach Hahn makes the free throw. And Henry County Sports Medicine wants to help you reach your peak performance. Henry County Sports Medicine Services, Newcastle High School Athletics. Call 765-521-1131.
Hahn knocked both free throws down to tie the ball game at 2, Howard. Good free throw shooting team. Newcastle 70% as a ball club.
This is Garrett Oxman. Craig Heinz missing a 3. And they battle for the basketball. And somehow Brian Hazelman came away. However, the short jump put up and in.
The Vincennes bench wanted to travel there on Newcastle, but after they got it underneath an easy look, they said, that's okay, just forget the travel, we'll take the 2 points by Hines.
Craig Heinz with a putback. It's 4-2 in favor of Vincennes. Vincennes 18-5 a year ago, 5-2 this year. The 3 by Chase Stegall, and here comes Garrett Oxman.
You'll see Newcastle shoot a lot of 3s. As a ball club, they're almost 40%, 37.7 as a team, and they have 5 people that shoot the 3 very well.
Here's Garrett Oxman, and a nice fake, and missing the shot is Jeremy Cunningham. We'll pause for these words on the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week on TV 40. The foul on Bobby Carroll, and that's Jeremy Cunningham at the line.
Carroll took a heck of a lick there, but he was just a half-second late getting stationary. And I thought that Cunningham did a great job of, once he committed to go to the basket, he went very strong.
So Jeremy makes 1 of 2. And it's 5-2 Vincennes, and we have 5:15 to go in the first quarter.
Little semi-full court press man-to-man, just more or less to slow Newcastle down. Newcastle likes to push it up and get transition baskets, not necessarily off the break, but out for 1 pass.
They work it down low, and missing the shot is Bobby Carroll.
Carroll's got to finish that
Vincennes.
one. Great pass. He blocked up well, established strong position, wasn't able to finish it.
Colton Oxman looking to make his move. And they reverse the ball to Garrett Oxman. 22 is Jeremy Cunningham. That's Colton Oxman. And the rebound taken down by Zach Hahn. Zach Hahn is quite a player. His first shot attempt, he's fouled.
Behind the 3 line, he'll be shooting 3 free throws, and Coach Steve Combs says, I had the angle on it. He wasn't touched, but the official thought he was.
Garrett Oxman commits his 2nd personal. So here is Zach Hahn, a 6'1" senior who'll be going to Butler, and he was the state finals MVP a year ago.
Watch this replay. Let's see if Hahn does get touched. More if he did, it was just a very light touch. I see why Coach Steve Combs was upset with that, because Garrett Oxman barely touched. He kind of breathed on him. You got to let that one go, in my opinion.
Reed Smith comes in to replace Garrett Oxman, who leaves with the 2 personals. So it's a 5-4 game. Zach Hahn with the 4 free throws for the 4 Newcastle points. Worked the ball down low. Jones missed the shot. And here come the Trojans. Zach Hahn for 3. And the rebound into Jeremy Cunningham's hands.
Both teams off to a slow start, and it may be because it's an early day game. Not unusual for it to take a quarter to get everybody in rhythm. They're not used to playing at this time of day.
You make a good point, and banking it home is Jeremy Cunningham. What would you do in those situations and say to your teams?
Well, I'm sure the coaches did this. I always call the practice a day or two ahead at the same time we're going to play. Work them out. If you're going to play at 10:30, let's practice at 10:30, whatever. And at least they can simulate a little bit what it feels like that time of day getting in full steam.
And that cross-court pass intercepted by Cunningham, the first turnover of the game. And they call a blocking foul, and Cunningham will go to the line and shoot two.
Watch the replay. This is twice Newcastle has attempted to take the charge. Both have been called blocks. I'd have to agree. He was still sliding a little bit to his left, and Hahn picked up the personal.
And the free throw by Cunningham, good for all your plumbing, industrial, commercial, and fireproofing needs. Call Pipe Incorporated. Steve Fendler and the crew do quite a job. That's Pipe Incorporated, 887-8770.
Couple subs in the game for Newcastle. Number 42, Drew Tower, and number 50, Chris Robinson.
Towers a senior, Robinson a junior, and the Alices have their biggest lead, 9-4, 3:20 to go in the first quarter. And that pass is deflected away. And let's see what the call is. An excellent effort by Reed Smith, who had just checked into the game. And the ball belongs to Vincennes.
Good scramble there on the floor. I think they're calling the Newcastle player as he slid on the floor. And you see it going down there. The Bennett slides, and they say he touched the out-of-bounds line before he threw the ball off the Vincennes player. Right or wrong, I know Steve Bennett thought it was wrong. The official was on top of the play.
It was created by great anticipation and hustle by Reed Smith. And thanks to the people at the Rose Bowl, as the crew went bowling there last night. Go to the Rose Bowl for Christian Youth Night every Friday, beginning at 10 p.m. A great night of fun and fellowship. Vincennes is 3 of 8 from the field. Newcastle 0 of 3 from the floor.
Been impressed with Vincennes' defense. They're touching a lot of basketballs. They've made a couple of steals, but they're very, very aggressive in this man-to-man defense.
Garrett Hahn misses a 3. Zach Hahn.
Drew Towers in the lane down. He took a heck of a fall on his back. He's just now getting back to his feet.
Here is Zach Hahn. 22 is Luke Bennett, and Zach Hahn will restart the offense.
Way down here, guys.
And that shot had eyes. Chase Stegall has the first Newcastle field goal of the game.
He and Hahn usually lead the team in scoring, and I believe they do have all 6 of the points.
9-6 in favor of Vincennes as Jeremy Cunningham misses a 3. Luke Bennett to the hoop. And Luke Bennett draws a foul. We'll pause for these words on the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week on TV 40. And here is Luke Bennett at the free throw line. Dave?
Vincennes slowly getting a little bit of foul trouble here early. Garrett Oxman on the bench, number 3 with 2 personals, and that was Jeremy Cunningham with his second personal. We still got 1:53 to go in the first quarter.
Newcastle is now 4 of 7 from the line. It is 9-6 Vincennes. Reed Smith, number 30, had it a moment ago. 13 is Justin Blinn. Steve Combs, the head coach of Vincennes, and he made the point that his team early in the season, he made the point he wanted to improve his game offensively and defensively, his interior game. And that 3 didn't go. And the rebound is Stegall and a foul.
Jared Blue over the top.
Visit the Best Western Raintree Inn in a quiet suburban location on the south edge of Newcastle on State Road 3, less than 3 miles from I-70. Call 765-521-0100 for reservations.
That was the 16th foul on the Vincennes Alices. They're going to put Newcastle in the bonus early in this game.
Spinning and twisting was Luke Bennett. The ball was taken away by Reed Smith.
Well, I tell you what happened. 2 Newcastle players collided. Luke Bennett took a heck of a shot, but it was from his teammate. And then they called a very quick jump ball. And of course, Steve Combs, being on that end, did not think they had simultaneous. Watch this. He spins. He runs into his own center there. Robinson does Luke Bennett.
Zach Hahn has his 19th three-point field goal of the season. Our second tie, Craig Heinz, the other way, his 15th three of the year.
Look out if Hines gets hots for Vincennes or if Hahn gets hots for Newcastle. They're both big-time scorers.
48 seconds left first quarter. There's a long three by Stegall that didn't go. He tried to follow his own shot, and the Alices come away with the ball.
And they're going to hold for one if they follow Coach Combs' instruction. They won't turn down layups any time, but they will wait and take the shot very late in the clock.
25 seconds left in the quarter.
Best time would be under 4 seconds so that Newcastle cannot run down and get it look.
Here's Oxman. And a foul on Zach Hahn.
And that's his second personal. We're getting some key people now for both ball clubs in foul trouble early.
16 seconds left in the quarter. For Vincennes, Jason Chapman in for the first time. And let's see if the Alices play for the last shot of the quarter.
They will, and they're going to look for number 40 some point here.
Explain that one.
Well, the guard for them, Colton Oxman, he felt that his teammate was going to cut to the corner, and that being number 13, Glenn, and he's blocked up in the post.
Zach Hahn hits a three, and that's the end of the first quarter. A great way to end it for Newcastle. And the score after one, Vincennes 12, Newcastle 12 on the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week on TV 40. TV 40 Sports presents the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week. The special Hall of Fame classic, Indiana Members Credit Union. Keeping it simple. Thanks to the good people from Mancino's Pizza. Come to Mancino's Pizza and Grinders at 2111 South Memorial Drive for pizza, grinders, salads, breadsticks, and much more. Ask about their banquet facility. The crew's going to have lunch there today. Mancino's. Dave Nicholson, your impressions of this first quarter?
I thought it was a game of struggles, but in the last 2 minutes of that quarter, then I really thought both teams picked it up. You saw Hahn get a couple of threes. You saw Hines get on the board. Jeremy Cunningham for Vincennes had a good quarter. I really thought everybody struggled. I really thought the officials struggled. I thought there was 2 or 3 calls that just were called the wrong way. So maybe everybody will get warmed up and we'll have a great second quarter.
Newcastle never has led. We have had 3 ties. Vincennes' biggest lead 5 as Craig Hines misses a jumper, and Newcastle in a position to take the lead for the first time. Opening moment, period 2. And the short jump does not go by Stegall. And here's the rebound coming down to Jason Chapman. Hines And Craig Hines hits his second three of the game and 16th of the season.
Hines averages 23 points a game, and he's a guy that you got to find every time down. And you know Coach Bennett has talked about that. That time his team just didn't find number 40.
He's a four-year varsity player, is Craig Hines. And here's a foul. And Zach Hine will go to the line and shoot two. Oliver Family Motors on State Road 3 next to Walmart in Newcastle. Eager to support high school activities. That's Oliver Family Motors, Pontiac, Buick, Chevrolet, and Cadillac.
Watch the replay. There's Zach Hahn going in there hard, splitting the defenders. And number 13, Justin Glenn, drew the foul for the Vincennes Alices. Hahn drops them both in the basket. So far in this first minute, teams have already picked up the shooting pace, and I think you'll see them play really well from now on.
I think you're right. It started to pick it up actually late in the first quarter, and it continued over. And a very nice move to the hoop by Jason Chapman. And it's 17-14 in favor of Vincennes.
Colton Oxman's been putting a lot of pressure on Zach Hahn, even in the backcourt. Over the course of the game, that could wear him down just a little bit.
Stegall. Brian Hazelman missing a three. Nice pass inside, and the basket by Bobby Carroll. Bobby Carroll's sister Heather works at the Best Western Rain Tree Inn at the front desk. Here's Oxman. Tell you about the good people at Subway. They fed the crew yesterday. If you're having a party or a big gathering, let Subway cater your event. Call 529-1626 and also check out their Daleville location. .6:10 to go in the first half. 17-16 in favor of Vincennes, and that's Colton Oxman of Vincennes with the ball. Twin brother Garrett picked up two quick personals.
Brian Hazelman is really putting a lot of pressure on Hines. There was a reaching foul there, and he got away with it. And then Hines grabbed the loose ball, but his foot was on the out-of-bounds line. So give Brian Hazelman a lot of credit. He's trying to play Greg Hines, number 40 for Vincennes, really tight.
That is turnover number 4 for Vincennes. Newcastle's turned it over twice.
No problem to find out who to guard in this game. It's a matter of getting the job done guarding them. You've got to really guard Hahn, and you got to guard Stegall for Newcastle, and you really got to find number 40 Greg Hines in the orange uniform.
Hazelman missed the shot. It is Vincennes' ball. There's a three by Chapman, and Hazelman rebounds. 5.5 to go in the second quarter. We'll pause for these words on the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week on TV 40. Okay.
That foul was on Segal. That was Chase Segal's first foul. That's a 15th foul on Newcastle. Newcastle is now in the bonus as Vincennes has 17 fouls.
Here's Craig Hines.
Both teams playing really tough man-to-man defense, getting after folks real hard. You got to start there with any ball club, with any game. You got to have the defense.
Well, the fake by Oxman, but he's called for traveling.
Yep, he did a little too much fake. He lifted his pivot foot.
Come join us for the New Year's Eve Rock and Bowl plus the New Year's Eve lock-in. 8 hours of cosmic bowling at the Rose Bowl starting at 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Both events only $25. The Rose Bowl.
Well, that's a couple times it's just miscommunication. That time it was Chase Segal trying to feed the post, not communicating and getting together with Hazelman down inside.
4:46 left in the first half, and Vincennes making several substitutions now. Garrett Oxman coming back in. He's got the two personals. So is Jeremy Cunningham.
Both coaches working really hard. Steve Bennett, a coach, won the state championship with Newcastle last year in the 3A and had a record of 21-6. Steve Combs is in his ninth season at Vincennes.
That was very nice by Morgan Jones, Dave. He just made a powerful move to the hoop.
It's his first basket of the game, and now they've got a little inside-outside offense going.
Hazelman. It's a 19-15 Vincennes lead as we watch Zach Hahn, who is quite the player. He'll be going to Butler, and he drains a three. Hahn has hit 3 straight three-point field goal attempts. He missed his first 2. And speaking of Zach Hahn and going to Butler, what a season the Butler Bulldogs are having.
They're having a great year. That was a good drive by Craig Hines. That time he got Brian Hazelman, who has been shadowing him all over the floor, and got him out of position, and Hazelman picked up his second personal foul. There it is right there. A little bit of push off. He got to step on him was the problem, and then Hazelman used his left arm to push off just ever so slightly.
Cunningham to Oxman. Garrett Oxman playing with the 2 personals. This is Colton Oxman now. 22 is Jeremy Cunningham. That's Craig Hines. And Chase DeGaulle has the rebound. A 4-point Vincennes lead. Oh, I beg your pardon, we're tied at 19. 19-19, the 3 didn't go. Garrett Oxman with the ball.
They like to start their offense with the point guard screen sometimes. No one's coming up. They run the double for Colton, his brother, that time.
And Colton Oxman has his 6th 3 of the year. The pass deflected away by Garrett Oxman, knocked out of bounds, and Vincennes takes over. Excellent play by Garrett Oxman. 3:02 left in the first half.
Has been able defensively to interfere with what Newcastle wants to do a lot more than Coach Bennett would like. They've been very aggressive, and they've had success.
See, that's too dangerous a pass right there. Colton Oxman fired it and tried to thread an eagle.
It was a great out-of-bounds play that he threw it too hard. Jeremy Cunningham was wide open coming off a staggered screen, and he did not have to throw the ball that hard. It'd been a good time to use the bounce pass underneath the defender's arm.
Bobby Carroll commits his 2nd personal. Henry County, Indiana, home to the Indiana Basketball of Fame, historic Hoosier Gym, and the Newcastle Fieldhouse, the world's largest high school fieldhouse. That's Henry County Convention and Visitors Bureau. You can call them at 888-676-4302.
The world's largest high school fieldhouse right here. Wonderful place for basketball.
Morgan Jones, a 50% free throw shooter.
See this replay where it got Jones to the foul line. Trying to get the ball inside. Haven't gotten it yet, but there it is, away from the ball, down inside. The 2 post players, Bobby Carroll and Jones, were really in a wrestling match. They decided Carroll crossed the line and called him for the foul.
Vincennes by 5, having reeled off 5 straight points, equaling its biggest lead. Zach Hahn lost the ball.
Once again, that defense of Vincennes is giving Newcastle fits.
We'll pause for these words on the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week on TV 40. Howard Kellman, Dave Nicholson at the City Securities Boys Hall of Fame Classic.
Coach Bennett feels like in the post that Vincennes is really taking advantage by creating space, backing into the defender and pushing him out of the way. There is a lot of butting and pushing going on in there, and officials need to clean that up. That's mostly between Morgan Jones and Bobby Carroll.
Hahn hits a 3. Zach Hahn is hot, Dave.
He gets on a roll. He can explode. We saw that last year. 45, Morgan Jones. Keep an eye on the post. He's really using his rear end to knock the defender off the ball. And right now, Chris Robinson is trying to guard him.
Garrett Oxman missed a three. Brian Hazelman came away with the ball. Thought there could have been a foul there, but none was called on Hazelman. And here's a foul at the other end. Henry County Sports Medicine wants to help you reach your peak performance. Call 765-521-1131. That's Henry County Sports Medicine.
Watch this replay. There's Hazelman going to the basket, and Chapman came over to try to help. Swatted down. If he'd have kept his hand up straight and not pushed down with it, probably would not have gotten the foul, because Hazelman was kind of off balance, and his shot actually hit up under the bankboard.
So Hazelman, a 6-foot senior. Whether you're looking to improve your position on the high school depth chart or make an NFL roster, St. Vincent Sports Performance Center can help you. Call 415-5747, St. Vincent Sports Performance Center.
Hazelman knocks in the first free throw. He's 61.5% on the year. Talking about Steve Combs, graduate of Vincennes High School. His team last year was 18-5. Vincennes High School has 13 graduates in the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame that have been inducted. That tells you something about the tradition of that school.
Absolutely. They won the state championship back in the days of one-class basketball in 1981.
The great Gunnar Wyman was the coach of that ball club.
And they work it down low, and a foul, and Jeremy Cunningham will shoot 2. With a minute and a half left in the second quarter, and we're tied at 12 at the quarter. We're tied at 24 now.
So to see the foul here on Drew Tower, number 42. He made a mistake by leaving his feet. He was out of position. He tried to jump, and he jumped before the shooter did. You never want to do that, because you usually make a mistake, get a foul called, or get beat off the dribble.
Jeremy Cunningham shooting 2. Number 30 is Reed Smith just checking in.
I mentioned Gunnar Wyman, the coach of the state championship team for Vincennes. They're called the Alices, and everybody wonders how they get that nickname. Well, they asked Gunnar right after the game on the floor, said, "What is an Alice anyway?" And he says, "Tonight it's any blankety blank," but he didn't say blankety blank thing I want it to be.
Okay. There was a book many years ago, Alice of Vincennes, and that's how the nickname came about. Here's Zach Hahn. Zach Hahn. Luke Bennett hits his 10th three of the year with a minute to go in the first half, and Newcastle, friends, has its first lead of the day. A leg block. 27-25 in favor of the Trojans.
Both of these teams are mentally and physically tough. Not very big. I mentioned that on the lead-in. You see Coach Bennett there. He's demonstrating what he thinks an illegal swim move by the Vincennes post players by backing into the post.
His 10th year as head coach of the Trojans. We have a foul. Newcastle is on an 8-1 run. And Newcastle returning 6 of their top 8 players from last year's state championship team. Steve Bennett said that Zach Hahn was the best point guard in the state last year, and that he'll prove he's the best basketball player in the state this year.
Strong statement, yeah. But he is a very, very good player. There's several. There's a handful, 5, 6, or 7 in that category. I would say Hahn's one of them. I'd say a young man named Eric Gordon is in that group too.
Hazelman at the line. Newcastle on a 9-1.
You may have covered this, Howard, but Coach Bennett, that's Hazelman's 2nd consecutive free throw. Steve Bennett is the winningest percentage-wise coach and active coach in the state of Indiana. His winning percentage is better than anybody that's still actively coaching. That's a strong statement.
37 seconds left in the half. Craig Heinz. Reed Smith is 30. They may play for the last shot. They're down by 4. Newcastle on a 10-1 run.
Keep an eye on number 40, Hines.
10 seconds left. There's a 3 by Oxman. Does not go. Got time, and that's the end of the first half. One that ends by a great flurry by Newcastle. The score at halftime is Newcastle 29 and Vincennes 25 on the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week on TV 40.
Ode to the fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch. Just north of ridiculously delicious, you'll find this baby bordering on sublime. This taste explosion begins with chicken so tender, it begs to be hugged with freshly baked bread. Then it's piled sky high with bacon, Monterey cheddar, and a ranch sauce that makes sharing lunch a case for sainthood. The Subway fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch. That's with 27 M's. Subway, eat fresh.
Come to Subway at 1700 South Memorial Drive in Newcastle. If you're having a party or big gathering, let Subway cater your event. The Allfeld Sports Medicine halftime show. Here's our score. Newcastle 29, Vincennes Lincoln 25. And now it's time for the Watson's trivia question. Who won the 1983 Mr. Basketball? Watson's open as we speak. Their after Christmas sale, 50% off on selected items. Get out to Watson's. 823-4448 is the phone number. I-465 to Pendleton Pike. Head east 5 miles. You're at Watson's. The Watson's trivia question. Who won the 1983 Mr. Basketball? Steve Alford, who then starred at IU, was on the Olympic team the following year, played in the NBA briefly before becoming a coach. So that's the Watson's trivia question. And again, our halftime score, Newcastle 29, Vincennes Lincoln 25. This is the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week on TV 40.
There's your halftime score. Newcastle 29, Vincennes 25. Let's look at the first half highlights. Got going well in the second quarter. That's Greg Hines, a big-time scorer for Vincennes. 2 in a row. That is not a replay. That's 2 different shots. Down the middle, you had Jason Chapman on this take to the basket. Nice pass. Bobby Carroll was the recipient of a great pass. Morgan Jones on the strong post play. Zach Hahn, he had 4 threes in the first half. There's the second one. Drew Tower, his first basket of the first half, a 3-pointer. The stats at halftime for the Trojans: 7 of 17 for 41%. 3-point field goals, 5 of 11. Outstanding free throws, 10 for 13. 36% for Vincennes, and they were 3 of 10 from the three-point line. Rebounds pretty even, errors pretty even. We'll be back with the second half after this break.
Okay, as we begin this third quarter, Newcastle ahead of Vincennes 29-25. And Henry County is home to the famed Newcastle Motorsports Park that offers the greatest karting facility in the USA, as well as the historic Mount Lawn Speedway. Visit the wonderful parks in Henry County, from the man-made State Park, Summit Lake, Westwood Park, and the oldest War Memorial Park. HenryCountyIn.org. Okay, Dave Nicholson. Pretty hotly contested first half.
Well, the last part of that second half, the last 3 or 4 minutes, Newcastle took a little bit of control. They get first possession. The key is, can they build on that lead?
And there is Hazelman, the big guy, Bobby Carroll. That is his second field goal.
That was a well-earned basket. Bobby Carroll fought very hard in a lot of traffic. And Bobby Carroll's got a bloody nose, but the official has not picked up on it yet.
Morgan Jones has his second field goal a moment ago. Newcastle led by 6 until that field goal by Jones, the biggest lead of the game.
Need to probably get some cotton for Bobby Carroll's nose. He's going to try to play through it.
Stegall trying to dish off. That's Zach Hahn. Hahn utilizing the pick from Carroll. Jeremy Cunningham rebounds. Hahn had made 4 straight threes. At the other end, Craig Hines does not convert.
Craig Hines made a really strong move there. Didn't quite get it finished. He's dangerous. He can go off any time on a long string of points, as well as can Hahn or Stegall.
Bennett to the hoop. And Morgan Jones rebounds.
You know, Morgan Jones stopped there in front of the officials, and he actually traveled. But I think the official said, I don't think he would have done that right here, so he didn't even see it.
Jones battling inside. Man, he's a strong player, and he utilized his strength there.
He's a banger inside. He's the one that Rucciolo away, creates his own space, and when he gets his hands on it, he finishes.
Jones is 3 of 4 from the floor for 8 points.
I think they finally realized it's been going on for 3 minutes that Bobby Carroll has a bloody nose. They'll get some cotton and fix it up.
Friends, the Best Western Raintree Inn in Newcastle has a variety of quiet, clean, comfortable rooms, including jacuzzi suites. That's the Best Western Raintree Inn in Newcastle. A heated indoor pool as well. Call 765-521-0000. Come join us for New Year's Eve Rock and Bowl plus New Year's Eve Lock-In. 8 hours of cosmic bowling at the Rose Bowl, starting at 10 p.m. The Rose Bowl.
Chris Robinson comes into the ball game for Newcastle while Bobby Carroll's getting his nose fixed.
That didn't go by Robinson, but the follow. 5:50 left, third quarter. Many of the crew went bowling at the Rose Bowl last night after the games, and Dave West with a 139 was tops. Dennis Casey points out that it's not as if TV 40 is going to take up bowling now. 139 the highest score. But I tell you what, as Chase Stegall scores, remember, the entire crew worked all 4 games yesterday. So fatigue was a factor for them as well. Thanks to Tom at the Rose Bowl. Oxman missing the shot. And here comes Zach Hahn. It's a 6-point Newcastle lead. Stegall drains a 3.
He was in rhythm.
22nd of the game.
Had his feet set, was in rhythm on the catch, and that makes all the difference with the shooter.
And Newcastle has opened it up, leading by 9 on the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week on TV 40. Mancino's. Come to Mancino's Pizza and Grinders in Newcastle, 2111 South Memorial Drive. Not only pizza and grinders, but salads, breadsticks, and much more. Ask about their banquet facility. The crew's going to have lunch there today. Dave?
Shooting stats up to date. Newcastle 11 of 26 for 42%. Vincennes 10 of 27, 37%. I mentioned on the lead in that home sweet home might be a key for Newcastle simply because they always shoot the basketball well. In the first half, it was Hahn with a 10-point first quarter, 8-point second quarter. Now it looks like Chase Segal is going to pick it up as he has scored 5 points already here in the third quarter.
Henry County Sports Medicine wants to help you reach your peak performance. Call 765-521-1131. That's Henry County Sports Medicine, a service of Henry County Memorial Hospital in Newcastle. Thanks to the crew at Subway for feeding our crew yesterday. Subway at 1700 South Memorial Drive in Newcastle. Call 529-1626. Also check out their Daleville location. Well, we have another game today right after this one. Then we're back here tonight for the consolation and championship games.
Wall-to-wall basketball from 2 o'clock on through till about 9:45 tonight, and we'll be here bringing it to the people across central Indiana. It's always a great day. The Hall of Fame tournament is one of the highlights of our schedule, and I think it is for our viewers. I know it is for the teams that play here. There's that long three-pointer by Chase Segal that he just made. You know, Newcastle's done a really good job of defending number 40, Craig Hines. He's got 8 points, but he has worked really hard to get those 8, and most of that credit goes to Bryant Hazelman.
It is Vincennes' ball. The Alice's led most of the first half. The 3 did not go by Oxman, but now Newcastle has a 9-point lead. Newcastle has outscored Vincennes going back to the end of the first half, 19-5. Two and a half minutes left in the first half is when Newcastle turned things around. As we mentioned, the Alice's led most of this first half.
Newcastle's basically playing with 4 guards out there on the court.
Segal hit a 3 a moment ago, missed that one. Craig Hines rebounds.
4 guards in the center for Newcastle. You got Hahn, Bennett, you got Segal, and Hazelman, all guards. And of course, now you've got Robinson playing the post while Carroll's out getting his bloody nose fixed up.
Oxman. And the baseline shot does not go. Trying to save it is Hazelman.
Sometimes you can get carried away trying to draw a foul, and I thought Craig Hines, he leaned in trying to draw the contact rather than focusing on the shot. And as a result, he didn't get the foul called, and he didn't get a good shot. Sometimes you just want to focus on scoring. If the foul comes, it comes.
That 3 didn't go by Craig Hines.
That time Hines tucked the flop outside. Don't blame him for that. Sometimes a three-point shooter can get that foul called if the official's not alert. That time they were on top of it.
Hazelman's 3 is short. Here's a 3-on-2 for the Alices. And there's a foul as they battle for the rebound. Maybe a double foul.
It's a double foul. You got it. And that's going to involve Craig Hines, and it's going to involve Luke Bennett. Watch, they get tangled up away from the ball, and both of them were excessive. Bennett was checking real hard on Hines, and Hines would have been the one who received the benefit of that, but he used his arm and threw Bennett away. So it is a double foul.
Oxman inbounding. Hines. And it is simply stuck in the basket. It's once a season that happens.
Look at Hines right here in front of us. He's tired. I talked about how hard they've been defending him, and particularly Brian Hazelman has been guarding him well. He's kind of looking for his second win right now, and that'll take his legs away as far as his outside shot.
It's really affected it. He started off fine, but he's missed his last 7 field goal attempts. Here's Hazelman. 3:10 left, third quarter, 9-point lead for Newcastle. Zach Hahn, offensive board.
Kick it out. There you go, that's 3. Oh, bad call. I thought he had 3 there.
Another offensive board to Chris Robinson.
Great job of Robinson, surrounded by 3 or 4 defenders. Kick it back out to the shooters. He gave Segal a great look. Didn't happen. But a good play.
Justin Blinn back in, and he replaces Craig Hines.
That's a good move on Coach Combs' part, because Hines needs a rest. He knows that better than anyone. So he's going to give him a couple of minutes and get him back in.
Cunningham with the rebound. Well, you're right, although the other side of it is he's your best scorer, and you're down by 9. So he won't be on the bench long.
The last 7. So he needs a break.
Right.
He's worn out.
Probably won't be on the bench long, though.
No, he will not.
That's a 3 from Jeremy Cunningham.
He wasn't in the top 5 of three-point shooters for them, so that's a bonus. He did a nice job of taking advantage of what they gave him.
Here's Zach Hahn for 3. And the rebound to a leaping Reed Smith.
I talked about how Newcastle was defending Hines. I could say the same thing for Vincennes on Hahn. He hasn't scored in this third quarter. He had a huge 18-point first half. They tightened the grip on him a little bit as well.
Oxman. Jones is deep. Well, I'll tell you what, he's a good inside player.
You talk about blue-collar, bring your lunch bucket type player. That's what you've got in Morgan Jones. He just gets in there and determines to get something done and does a great job of it.
And he
nice
takes
look.
And the pass inside of the basket by Chris Robinson. And Jones, because of that strength, is always taking good percentage shots. 1:19 left to go in the third quarter, and Zach Hahn was shooting great in the second quarter, and obviously, as you pointed out, the Alice has made an adjustment. He hasn't scored in this quarter.
He had 18 points there the first half, and as I mentioned, they've really tightened up on him, and he's probably shooting about a step out of where he really likes to shoot. Sometimes shooters give into that. He needs to keep moving and get open where he wants the shot.
And we should point out, too, a couple of his threes here just rimmed the basket. And that's a 3 by Justin Blinn. And all of a sudden, Vincennes, with a couple of threes by a couple of reserve players, are right back in this thing.
And now they got a 2-on-1.
Cunningham. 3-on-1. And laying it up and in is Reed Smith. Wow. (40-39) in favor of Newcastle. A 10-2 Vincennes run after Craig Hines went to the bench, and he's getting a much-needed breather. Stegall, he threads a needle inside to Chris Robinson.
Great feed of the post by Chase Segal. They've done that a couple of times, and Robinson has gotten 6 points because of his teammates finding him. That's because they're worrying about the outside shooting of Hahn and Segal. That leaves Robinson some room to operate down there.
15 seconds left, third quarter. Vincennes down by 3 with the ball. down to 8 seconds. Oxman. Still have time, 2 seconds. That's the end of the third quarter. The score after 3, Newcastle 42 and Vincennes 39 on the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week, this special Hall of Fame edition on TV 40. TV 40 Sports presents the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week. Indiana Members Credit Union, keeping it simple. We have played 3 quarters. There's our score. Newcastle leading 42-39. And we'll tell you that Henry County has several activities for the whole family. The Boondocks Farms, the Jacobs Family Orchard, Pine Retreat, Henry County Historical Museum. It's all there in Henry County.
2 unsung heroes stepped up for their teams at headquarters. Chris Robinson, 6 points, and Morgan Jones, 6 points for Vincennes.
And the short jump did not go for Smith.
Ball was on the floor, and the player on the floor called a timeout.
I know you don't like to see that at this stage.
No, I don't. Let's see what happened here. You're going to see the rebound coming down. Rolls off the rim, battle for the ball. Come out in the corner here. I don't see how they did that, but they did. They gave the timeout to the Vincennes player.
Enjoy the great food at the Best Western Raintree Inn. Twigs, the on-site restaurant, offers a pleasant dining atmosphere and a variety of breakfast menu items with a buffet every Saturday and Sunday. That's Twigs. The Raintree looks forward to seeing you. Call 765-521-0100.
Shooting stats after 3 quarters. Vincennes 14 of 37, 38%. Newcastle 13 of 33, 39%. Vincennes 22 rebounds, Newcastle 24. Each team has turned it over only 6 times. And the way they're defending, that's a good floor game to only have 6 errors.
Here's Jones. 22 is Cunningham. Jones following, and Stegall rebounds.
2 pretty good swats there on Morgan Jones. Looked like he had some contact, but I must say they're letting him go at both ends.
And Craig Heinz is back in the game. At the other end, Chris Robinson has played well off the bench. He's got 8 points in the second half. Here's a foul on Luke Bennett. But they brought Craig Heinz back in to start the 4th quarter.
Right, we knew he wouldn't be out long. He averages 23 points a game for the Vincennes Alices, and he's got to be fresh in this quarter. Again, that was a good move by Steve Combs to rest him a little bit. He should be fresh. 82% free throw shooter. Watch the replay. You'll see they get Bennett right there on the arm. Kind of hard to tell, but when you swat at it like that and that ball changed directions, it looked like it probably was a good cover.
Vincennes is now 7 of 10 from the line. Heinz is an 82% free throw shooter.
Chris Robinson goes out to a big ovation. Well, he deserves that. He came in to fill in for Bobby Carroll. Bobby, if you remember, got a bloody nose about halfway through the 3rd quarter, and Robinson didn't just fill in. He got 8 big points for the Trojans.
Absolutely. We have played 1 minute of this 4th quarter. It's a 3-point Newcastle lead, and the Trojans have the basketball. This is Zach Hahn. He loves to shoot those threes.
Well, he was calling for a screen, and no one came to give him the screen.
Luke Bennett hits a three, his second three of the game, and his 11th of the season.
Great job there by Zach Hahn. He wanted that high pick and roll, not for the shot himself, but to make the defense rotate, which they did, and that left Bennett wide open in the corner.
Here's Garrett Oxman. And that is going to be on Craig Hines. First Vincennes turnover of the second half, 7th of the game.
You know, Craig Hines, as you see Coach Bennett there, he's saying, here's a replay, and then we'll talk about the coaches, but inside you see that both players just laying on each other. You didn't see the first move there by Craig Hines, but they're guarding him very physically, and Craig is such a good player. He's got to not cross the line and get that kind of foul.
What's your feeling on the officials as far as how much should they let him play, should they let him play, and so forth?
I just like to see him call it the way the rules printed. You know, a foul's a foul. If they're being held and being bumped, they should call it.
Craig's Chase Stegall draws the foul, and he'll shoot two.
I hate to hear people say, well, the players have to adjust to the officials. There shouldn't be any adjustment. The same rules apply every game to the same, whatever the officials are. Here's a replay on that. Nice catch. Now he goes right in, used the fake, and of course that got Morgan up in the air, Morgan Jones. And once you're up in the air, you're hopeless. I mean, there's nothing you can do but come down and commit the foul. Never want to leave the floor until you make sure the jump shooter has left the floor.
Stegall misses them both. Here is Garrett Oxman. Garrett picked up two quick personals in the first quarter. His twin brother Colton misses the jumper.
My point
Drew Tower rebounds.
On the rules and the officials, they're same rules. It seems like the officials should adjust and call the rules the way they're written and not make everybody else to adjust from night to night.
Zach Hahn misses.
There's no lack of hustle by either one of these ball clubs. They are fearless when they go after loose balls and on the floor. They sacrifice their bodies, and you got to love that as a coach.
All right, timeout. 5:33 left in this one. It's a 6-point lead for Newcastle on the Indiana Members Credit Union Game of the Week on TV 40. There's our score. Newcastle leading 47-41. Sean Humphrey directing today. Dave West was our director yesterday. Thanks to the Shelbourne Clinic for sponsoring the scoreboard. 5:33 left in this one. And Newcastle by 6. Game tied at 12 at the quarter. The Trojans led by 4 at the half, by 3 after 3.
Neither team's in foul trouble in the second half. Each team has committed 3 personals. The only individual that's got 3 fouls, Vincennes Morgan Jones, has 3.
And Newcastle with the ball, and the Trojans should be in no big hurry.
They'll keep attacking, but they should pick and choose what they want. There's that high screen entry that they like to do with Hahn.
33 is Stegall. Down low. Robinson, I beg your pardon, Bobby Carroll will shoot 2.
4 fouls on Morgan Jones. He's been the workhorse inside for Vincennes, and I'm sure they do not have a replacement for him.
So Bobby Carroll at the line.
Stand corrected. The official board only has him for 3. I had him for 3 already before that one. We'll go with the official board up there. Watch the replay. Some continued play inside. Yeah, that was a good call.
Bobby Carroll, a 6'7" senior, averaging 5.3 a game.
Morgan Jones tucked up a little bit of Bobby Carroll's space. That is a personal foul.
And it's 48-41 Newcastle. Newcastle's biggest lead was 9. The 3 did not go by Oxman. And here's Zach
Long
Hahn.
pass, good look.
Yep. Unable to handle it.
Well, that was from Hahn, of course, down to Seagal, and it was right there on his fingertips. It was worth the gamble.
7-point Newcastle lead. Zach Hahn has not scored in the second half, but yet certainly his teammates have picked up the slack. The big guy in close, and a nice move by Morgan Jones, who has his 5th field goal.
They've got Morgan Jones listed at 6'6". He doesn't look 6'6" to me. Both he and Carroll look a bit about more like 6'4", 6'5".
Stegall hits another 3.
But both Carroll and Jones have that wide body. They know how to use it. They post and move people out and create space.
Here's Oxman for 3. No. Good job of blocking out by Stegall, who corrals the rebound.
We've got some young people out there look like they're going to be 6'2" or 3 and kind of blocky. Watch these two guys play, number 52 in white, number 45 in orange. They know how to use their body, and they have become good post players, even though they're not giants.
And a traveling call for Vincennes. Reed Smith is in. There he is, number 30. Also coming in for Vincennes is Justin Blinn.
Well, remember, Blinn was in earlier and hit the big 3 in the third quarter, so they're looking for a little offensive lift from the senior.
The Alices of Vincennes Lincoln have got to make their move soon, Dave. They're down 8 with 3:45 to go.
They have to not rush things, but keep attacking. Get a good shot every possession. There's plenty of time.
Hines missing a 3. I like when you said not rush things. I thought of John Wooden's great line. Be quick, but don't hurry.
Right. You're exactly right. Whatever Coach Wooden said about basketball, that's right.
That's true.
he had it figured out. You know, we've been giving credit to Newcastle, the job they're guarding on Hines. Now it's Luke Bennett that's really trying to do the number.
That pass is looped down low. And a foul underneath with 3.5 minutes left in this game.
Watch this replay. There's 3 Trojans down there. They're going to call it on 52. Wow. We only saw the tail end of that, but at 52, Bobby Carroll was not close to the postman there, 40, who was in the post, Hines, at that time.
Here's Chris Robinson.
All fairness to the officials, that could have happened before we picked up the tape.
That is Chase Stegall, at whom you're looking. This played a good game.
It's been very physical, hard fought, and one of the indicators is this is the second time they've had to stop the game to clean up blood on the floor. Nothing dirty.
Bobby Carroll.
Hard play.
That's Chase Stegall. Chase Stegall is our Pipe Incorporated leading rebounder of the game. There he is, number 33, with 7 rebounds. Let Pipe Incorporated help you rebound from your problems. Going to the hoop, and yet another whistle.
I think he stepped on the out-of-bounds line, Howard. Newcastle's doing a better job of bringing help to the ball on the penetration dribble now. Earlier they were getting beat a step, but now they're rotating much better away from the ball, giving help.
It's amazing, Dave. You look at the 2 outstanding players, and Heinz and Hahn on each team, and Heinz has only 2 points in the second half, and Hahn has not scored. But this is a team game, and we never lose sight of that as Drew Tower hits a 3.
I'll tell you, I watched Newcastle practice yesterday. That's a shooting drill they have, where they put 3 or 4 guys around the arc and move the ball quickly.
Jeremy Cunningham hits a 3. The one thing that Zach Hahn did do, though, in the first half, he kept his team in the game. Vincennes was dominating and threatening to break it open.
Yeah, there's no question. Vincennes has really been focusing on number 3 in white this second half.
Now, is that to the exclusion of the other players? Because the other guys have really picked up the slack.
Well, you know, a lot of theory is make somebody else beat you. You know?
Right.
Don't let the great players beat you. Make someone else do it, and you have to give Newcastle credit.
Right.
Other people have stepped up and done the job. You know, we've got 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go, Howard, and they have let a lot of contact go throughout the game. I think they have been consistent, especially inside. You hope they don't change here in the last 2.5 minutes and start calling touch stuff. Stay the same. Don't call it any different than you have the first 3.5 quarters.
Craig Hines hits a 3. A moment ago, he had a 5-second call. It's a 5-point game. Zach Hahn, and he's got it, and he's fouled as well. Huge play.
Well, everybody's saying, where's Hahn? Where's Hahn? Well, there he is with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go. Gets one of the bigger baskets of the game, extends the lead to at least 7. Watch him take it off the dribble here. Goes to his left hand, leans in, flips it up, shielded off the defender pretty well.
Zach's a 77% free throw shooter. Well, he converts a 3-point play. A moment ago, Craig Hines drained a 3-point field goal.
You know what that tells you? The good players make big plays when it counts.
Going to the hoop, and the rebound put up and in by Garrett Oxman.
His first basket of the game.
After Jeremy Cunningham missed the shot.
Got to throw it deep. There you go.
It's
now you got 2-on-1 if you want it.
And Zach Hahn is fouled. Exactly 2 minutes left and a 6-point lead for the Trojans.
Going to put Zach Hahn back at the line. He just had a 3-point play, so he's probably going to make these. He's a 77% shooter on the season. Probably not going to make both of them. You know what we always say. Free throws and rebounds. There's a good look at Coach Steve Combs. He worked under an outstanding coach at Vincennes named Gene Miller for 4 years prior to being named the head coach. Gene Miller's now the coach of the Washington Hatchets.
Hahn is 8 of 10 from the line. And Newcastle has a 7-point lead.
From Newcastle, you stay solid, stay between the ball and the basket. Don't let the man get a step on you. And don't foul. You don't want to give them points with the clock stop. You're playing the clock as much as you are Vincennes right now.
Hines.
Let it go.
And it's out of bounds. It'll go to Newcastle. That's a big possession.
Yeah, Reed Smith tried his best to save that, but when he threw it back on court, it hit the inbounds line.
Okay, Dave, we have 1:37 left, a 7-point Newcastle lead. Newcastle with the ball. Do you foul? Well, that answers that question.
Yeah. You got to. That's not it. They've got to have possessions, and they'll pick out somebody they've scouted. They know who is the best shooters. Luke Bennett is not at the top of the list. He's 63%. So percentage-wise, it was a good foul. We'll see how it works out.
Luke Bennett at the line.
Interesting coaching by Coach Steve Bennett here. He moves all 4 of his players in the backcourt. One thing that makes sure you don't get an over-the-top or a silly foul fighting for a rebound. So I don't think that's a bad move when you've got now an 8-point lead.
For Vincennes, Colton Oxman back in, replacing Justin Blinn.
2 pressure-packed free throws there by Luke Bennett.
And now it's a 9-point game. And only a minute and a half left.
Same scenario. Don't let them drive you. Stay between them and the basket. Don't foul them.
Had a little bit of a weave there.
Trouble with that weave, they're no closer to the basket than they were when they started the weave.
Garrett Oxman with a 3. Not the best look in the world, but they felt they had to shoot. And a whistle at the midcourt line with 1:11 left.
On Garrett Oxman, and he was set, but you got to give the player that catches the ball a step, and he didn't give the step, and therefore it's a block.
Let's credit Newcastle's defense down there, because they're obviously not going to foul ahead by 9, but yet Vincennes couldn't get a shot away for 20 seconds, and when the Alices took one, it wasn't a good one.
Yeah, I'm talking about that 3-point line on that weave. They never got closer than that. They could have taken the shot they finally ended up taking without running the clock so far. So
there's Craig Hines. He's our Jiffy Lube star of the game. Craig Hines with a terrific game today. 13 points and a few rebounds as well. Craig Hines, our Jiffy Lube star of the game. Get to Jiffy Lube early for that signature oil change.
Got to take quick shots. You can't run the clock right now. You got to get it up.
That's Hines. And the rebound is Zach Hahn. And that should just about do it. It's an 11-point game.
Yeah, the Vincennes bench yelled don't foul, so they're going to concede that this one is history.
45 seconds to go and an 11-point lead. No need to foul from Vincennes' standpoint. Give Newcastle credit. Vincennes led in the early going.
Both of these ball clubs are very well coached. Coach Combs has a good ball club with Vincennes, and Steve Bennett does an excellent job in preparing his ball club for all kinds of situations. If they need to hold the ball, they hold the ball. If they need to fast break, they fast break. If they need a shot, they can make the shot.
And there is Zach Hahn. He's our awful difference maker. Zach Hahn played very well today as well. 24 points, 5 rebounds and a few fouls. Zach Hahn, who is Butler bound. Here's a good look at Zach. And the bench is clear with 34 seconds to go. Chase to go at the free throw line. We have another game to go today. And then 2 more tonight.
We've got 3 more games for the people there at home. Just relax, kick back, and watch basketball all day long here on Channel 40.
Cunningham played well. There is Mr. Cunningham, who had 12 points and 5 rebounds. Jeremy Cunningham, he did very well.
Talk about the fact that Hahn is going to Butler. They have had a long string of great shooters going to Butler from Newcastle High School. Brandon Miller, Darnell Archie. Brandon Miller's an assistant over at Ohio State with Thad Matta. Darnell Archie is the co-coach at Columbus North High School. Bruce Horan, all outstanding shooters, and Zach Hahn is going to be another Trojan that really helps the Bulldogs.
Going to the hoop and scoring is Jason Chapman. 20 seconds to go, an 11-point lead for Newcastle. And that pass is intercepted. However, Chapman was out of bounds. 11 seconds to go. Brian Hazelman with the ball. And an 11-point Newcastle lead. 3 seconds, and that is it. The Newcastle Trojans, the defending 3A champions, advance to the championship game tonight of the City Securities Hall of Fame Classic. The final score as the players shake hands here at the Newcastle Fieldhouse. Game 1's final, Newcastle 64, Vincennes Lincoln 53. On the Indiana Members Credit Union, this special Hall of Fame edition of the Game of the Week on TV 40.